Raamdeo Agrawal needs no introduction. Raamdeo, so good of you to join us. Thanks for taking the time out.
Yes.
So you must have been happy. I mean, you've been constantly on that talk that dips in a high quality market deserve to be bought into.
Yeah.
Every opportunity. And I think we got some opportunities in the past. Somehow, the Brexit vote didn't even give us an opportunity, so to say. Just a mild downtick on that day.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I remember reading somewhere is that, in Indian stock market, particularly the quality stocks, downs are temporary, ups are permanent. So, these things keep happening. Brexit, and some more will be there. I mean, you all and the entire media, it is their job to create one crisis or other.
We report crisis.
We celebrate also.
Yeah, you celebrate also, but the
crisis, right?
noise is so much. Ordinary investor, Brexit. I mean, I had not heard. I actually didn't know 3 months back what is Brexit means. What does Brexit stand for? Suddenly, I think this terminology is very 1990s, 2016 terminology. Like,
yes.
It was not there in 2015.
Yeah.
So much for the terminology itself. And the implications are not known, and how do you build it in 24 hours? I mean, this execution itself might be a decade or maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but market has to price in tomorrow morning, and it had priced in a lot of it even before the voting. So obviously that when so buy on rumors, sell on news kind of thing.
Does it still remain that way? Sorry.
No.
Pardon?
Does the market, even after this run-up that we've seen, people talking about how we're trading at maybe 17, 18, 19 times as the case maybe, as your assumptions maybe, is it looking a bit toppish for the near term, or you don't?
We don't worry about all these things here. I mean, see, we are at 65, 70% of GDP. We should start worrying when it goes to 125% of GDP. It crosses the parity. So right now, market cap is about 104, 105 lakh crores. I mean, I have not seen it today, but I think yesterday was about 105 lakh crores. So at that level, we are tracking a GDP of about over 140 lakh crores. So we are still in the 70%, 68% to GDP. No issue. I mean, like, it's a very nice warm market of 25 degree. Go and shop. And see, what happens is dips is about, one of the sad thing of investing is that investing in equities is that when you invest in bond, it gives you say 8%. So every day you get 5 paisa, and it nicely tracks. So the value increases by 5 paisa. And price also increases by 5 paisa. But in stock market, value keeps increasing at 25%, but price doesn't track that easily. True. So whenever there is a dip in the price, not in the value. So you have to keep. I keep tracking the value, and that's why I remain bullish, because every day value is going up.
True.
But price gives you an opportunity.
True.
Price tracks back, it goes 5 steps forward and 3 steps backward. So when it is 3 steps backward, people are worried. They sell what. But I am saying that if value keeps growing, you have a little patience.
True.
And that's how, I mean, you cannot time the market. True. Who knew about day before 500 points move? Even in the morning when I was talking with my friends, we had no clue that even 50 pips, 50 points it will move. And bang, here is 500 points.
That's the beauty of this market. It never fails to surprise you.
Yeah.
But Raamdeo, the only peculiar thing is that post this Brexit move, it's not been an India alone move, right? It's across the globe. Even UK FTSE has recovered.
We have money
just
only
so
in India,
much.
so I am worried about India. Okay.
No, absolutely. What I'm worried about is what happens if you have a sudden down day or series of down days suddenly globally.
Go for a walk.
China, absolutely.
Go for a nice
25
walk,
degrees, Europe it is.
Yeah.
But
Go for a nice
I mean, what happens if China worries come back again? Does our market rally also get stalled? Because this seems like a very coordinated global move.
There is no set pattern. You saw the Brexit. We all predicted that if Brexit happens, the whole doomsday happens. It didn't happen. Now, nothing will happen and there will be doomsday. So, you cannot predict what is going to happen. You can predict only, I mean, if at all you can predict, that also is very tough. What you can predict is whether this company will become a company which is earning, say, 100 crores. Will it earn 1,000 crores in the next 5, 6 years, 10 years? And out of 10 companies you predict, maybe 5, 6, 7 will be right, 2, 3 will be wide off the mark downside, and in few of them you'll be wide off the mark on the upside. And the combination will give you a good. If you have right process, I'm quite sure you'll make money. If you end up buying a little higher, your rate will be shorter term rate of return will be a little lower, but eventually in 5, 6 years it doesn't matter. You paid 5. See, if the stock has to go from 100 to say 1,000, you bought it 103 or you bought it 98, does it really matter? The issue is whether you bought it or not.
Yeah, we hope people are listening into this, Raamdeo. Now, the question, Raamdeo, is that today's move by the government leads me to my next question.
What happened
That
today?
small uptick in kerosene, as small as it may be, but it is a change towards something that we haven't seen hitherto. And I think, something that caused a change in the construction sector, a sector which was disliked by almost everybody, and then it's becoming one of the best performing sectors because there has been a government push and a change in mindset. Where do you think there is a change in mindset which could make a space, without getting into stocks, a space become very attractive over a period of 5-10 years? Because that's where we want to tell people to invest into, not invest for the 3-month period.
No, see, first thing is there are a lot of good set of companies even as we go along. I mean, you don't have to wait for a bad company to become good.
Of course.
There are a set of 150, 200 companies which are perennially good.
Yes.
And in fact, one never prices right the good ones. I can tell you this. America will always be underpriced, I am telling you. Because as a country, they are so good. You will never pay enough for it.
You're coming back from Russia, aren't you?
Yes,
You're
yes, but
praising
that was a big
America.
surprise. No, but what I'm saying is that always the best thing, the highest quality thing is underpriced. Amitabh Bachchan will always make money. I mean, you pay him 1 crore, you pay him 2 crore, that movie will always be profitable to the producer.
Or a Motilal
Or
Oswal
Salman
multi-cap
Khan.
35 will always make money.
So, thanks. But what I'm saying is that quality always pays because you can never you can never pay enough for the quality. You see the trophy assets in the real estate. I mean, you pay crazy price for the the prime property, and yet that's the property which remains liquid in bad time, and it doesn't go down, and it appreciates even in bad time.
In HDFC Bank, for example.
Yeah.
Right. So where do you find such? Let's forget the bad price companies. Let's talk about the quality names.
Yeah, no, names means you can see in that F35 or whatever products we have, 50, 60 companies, that's our chosen good companies, at least by our best of the judgments. So, see the big opportunity I see in say financial sector because of the current situation in say something like say public sector opportunity, and even the foreign banks are vacating. So, on the high end, foreign banks are vacating or trimming down for their own global challenges and capital and regulation and whatever. And other side, PSU banks are shying away from underwriting businesses which they were used to earlier. So there is a kind of a limbo vacuum out there in terms of aggression, what they had till about 2008. So today there is a balance sheet issue, there is a management issue, consolidation issue, whole lot of issues are there. So, but then economy is surging at 7-8%. So there is a huge opportunity. So that's why NBFCs, private sector banks, and you don't have to find the next new guy. The existing guys, they have the infrastructure, they have the relationships, they have the muscle power to walk into anybody's office and take the mandates. You have to go for those. I mean, if you want to make 20-25%, that's the game. If you want to make 40-50%, then obviously you have to put extra effort.
So for 40-50%, do you choose the PSBs considering they still have a lot of value erased, or do you make 20-25% stick to HDFC Bank, Bajaj Finances of the world?
I'm not a risk. I don't get into too much of risk. We work with a lot of public money, so we have to see that their downside is limited.
But you have liked PSBs in the past.
Yeah, we had. We still own SBI in a limited way, but what I'm saying is we are not looking for what I would say deeply. I mean, where I don't see light. I mean, the day on which I see the light of the day that in my sense, the biggest challenge for the new governor whenever he comes is going to be the repairing the public sector banks, because that's 70% of the system. And for any kind of sustained 10, 20, see, we want to grow at 8-9% for next 10 years. How do you do it?
Right. Yes.
So that is a vehicle which is, when Mr. Rajan came, that time our current account deficit was very high. Oil price was 110. Rupee was under major challenge. Today, oil is very subdued at $50. So that itself has repaired a lot of challenge of stabilizing the currency. So my sense is, so that remains an opportunity area, very large opportunity. So like that, ease of doing business is happening. Government is opening up sector after sector. Say they have now opened up aviation, and this is the ultimate destination for aviation. This country doesn't have proper railways.
Yeah.
Railway network is there, but the speed is not there. So
and they're ordering planes by the dozens. SpiceJet, Ayesha, everybody.
Hundreds, small companies are ordering 70-80 planes.
You're bullish on aviation, you're saying?
I'm very bullish.
You're very bullish on aviation?
Yes, very bullish. Let's see. This is one industry which has, which has disappointed everybody all over the world. So To be very bullish is very tough, you know.
Of course.
I mean, there will be challenges of.
But Raamdeo, so I have a question. You know, the Raamdeo Agrawal that we always tend to hear, and we know, you mentioned that you're a safe player, the bets that you take on an Ayesha, etc., is all well documented. I want to talk about Raamdeo the thinker, who looks for new opportunities as well, and not necessarily in the tried and tested establishments. Where is it that you're seeing new opportunities here? You may, I mean, one may go wrong as well, but where are you seeing new opportunities?
Yeah, so say like oil companies. See, what happens is that whenever something is depressed for 10, 15 years, it takes a lot of time for the people to see. Bad things are priced overnight, but good things take years. So you see, everything happened about deregulation of oil when it was 300 rupees. Today it is $1,000. Is still the hottest stock. It's still buying at single-digit P multiples. The entire, all three of them.
True.
You know, and the oil consumption, most of the analysts, they used to put it 5-6%, and that too, you have to force the analysts to write 5-6% growth. Actually, they're going 14%. Volume this quarter is 14%, record. And world's fastest growing oil market is India. So you have an opportunity. It's a monopolistic. It's a largest business in the country. More than 1 million crore is the turnover of these three companies. So and government has now given guidelines. What should be your dividend payouts? What should be your bonus ratios and everything. So I think that's another big area. You know, the collapse of oil.
Yeah.
Global collapse of oil and sustained collapse of oil will give you so many opportunities. Well-run companies which are suffering from high oil prices, they will become your, say, whether it is a pipe company, whether it is a aviation company, whether it is a auto, even the auto itself. You know, what will happen is if your petrol diesel price remains stuck at, say, whatever X price, but your income is growing, so affordability will grow very rapidly, and hence demand for a Maruti, demand for a you know, two-wheelers will be surging.
What could be the next disruptive theme? Bajaj Finance, when it came by 5 years back, that was the disruption of its time, so to speak, and phenomenal returns. What could be that new ticket, urban consumption-led play, which could give phenomenal returns from here?
Recently, last RBI has given a lot of new licenses, 20 of them, and all of them, one by one, they are coming in public issue. I am quite sure out of those 20, at least 5-6 will be, I mean, they will surpass anybody's expectation in terms of pace of success and size of success. So you will get much bigger than even what we have seen in the recent past. I mean, in 5 years, a company, a bank, those new banks which open up their doors, they can go from, say, they'll open at about 1,000 crores, 2,000 crores kind of thing. They can go to 25,000 crores, 40,000 crores in just 5-6 years, 7 years. So you'll have staggering opportunity. I mean, I'm just presuming that PSU banks don't become from tomorrow super aggressive. You know, and that's an opportunity for the government to create those super aggressive banks, because they have seen the worst. Yeah. They have taken all the, you know, bad things on their side, and still they have the franchise. They have fantastic brand equity. I mean, there is an opportunity to reform these banks to create 5-6 well-run banks in India.
But you're not seeing that ray of hope in PSU banks, are you?
No, I'm always hopeful. I'm always optimist about everything. But,
no, but with
till it has not happened.
With regards to the NPMS, you feel that there are still some more quarters of
NPA is history. I mean, that's a history. The issue is how do you put bankers in the banks? Today there are banks, but there's no banker.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is.
And it's not an India problem. World over.
True.
There are too much of money and there are very few bankers. So how do you underwrite well?
Yeah. And yesterday we had an interesting announcement as well, right? Typically we've seen MFIs becoming banks. Yesterday we had a bank buying over an MFI as well in order to increase the bid, IDFC. Okay, having said that, your other big theme, whenever we've spoken, I don't know whether it translates into investing for you or not, but the other big theme has been your conviction about the infrastructure growth out here in the country. Now, how are you looking at that? Because we needed monsoon to be good. So far, so good. We needed reforms to come in, and I think they are coming in droves, in buckets, and we will probably even see GST as well. Where within this domestic infra pocket will you be most bullish on? I'll get a glass of water for you as well, Raamdeo.
See, infrastructure is the biggest opportunity and biggest challenge for India. And I mean, this government, Modi government in Gujarat, they they showed demonstrably that they can put up infrastructure at a state level. Now the challenge is how do you make it happen at a national level? And you have wonderful minister in Mr. Gadkari.
True.
He has really turned around the road thing. Now I think the infrastructure is bigger than that. So you got to get everything right. Like Mumbai doesn't have an airport. It's a, I mean, it's a craziest situation. I mean, the city which really lives 24/7 doesn't have adequate landing facility. So, and it is a government airport. It is to be government airport on government land for the benefit of the people, and yet it is not possible. I don't know how it is not possible. So we have created so much of what you call this environment, this permission, that permission. I mean, it's like saying that there is a food here and you can't eat it. That kind of thing. And see, India is the biggest importer of capital in the world today. And capital is literally free. There is no price, negative interest rate. $13 trillion bonds, 10-year bonds are negative interest rate. So we have to create an environment for that money to flow here. At any price, we have to create that conducive environment.
Sure.
We cannot keep finding.
You think that will happen?
I mean, that's the biggest challenge, as I said, biggest opportunity. And I think our Prime Minister is trying to do that only.
Yeah, so we are on the path, you're saying.
I'm saying,
how do you play that, Raamdeo? Because road construction companies
let it
have
happen.
already happened.
Yes, let it happen. Let it happen. Let me see. All the construction companies will fly.
Yeah.
Cement will fly. Steel companies will do well. So, but then where are the order books?
Yeah.
Let it start translating that L&T chairman is not. He doesn't have time to even sign the contracts. It should be like that.
Okay.
That may take some more time to come.
Yes.
But again, we've talked about roads, we've talked about aviation. Considering infrastructure is just such a large umbrella, what do you think is going to turn around the first? Where would orders start kicking in them first?
See, road is already happening.
Yeah, road is
we have companies, we know it is distinctly out there. I think defense will be one of the biggest game changer. This government's one of the unique contribution is going to be the defense, privatization of defense and own procure. I mean, self-made defense. Like I would think that if you typically make anything which is made in Europe and made in India, I think 1:3 is a definite thing. I mean, what for the money for which you can get one gun out of Europe, you'll get 3 guns out of India.
But that goes against your grain, right, Raamdeo? You typically look at companies which have a great ROC, ROE. I don't think too many defense companies in India as of now have
They're
that.
not there. See, those are investing is different. I mean, when you asked about what happens is that when you build a defense infrastructure, say explosive company, that is not going to be a new company. There is some listed explosive company, they will supply. Or if you want to have forging, so Bharat Forge or somebody will supply. Whosoever makes it, even if it is a private company which gets the contract. So there is going to be a trickle down effect will be there onto the existing companies.
But do you think there are existing opportunities? Let's not get into it, but do you think there are existing opportunities?
No, existing opportunities will be maybe not direct. I mean, if L&T makes it, then obviously it's a direct opportunity.
But it's not such a big needle mover for L&T, which is why I'm asking you. Do you think?
Eventually it can become. If your entire naval fleet, entire Air Force, then all the infantry and everything. I mean, we are a country which invests, I think, upwards of more than lakh crore, 2 lakh crores. And eventually in next 5-10 years, if you want to be really superpower, if you want to balance China in this part of the world, obviously you have to have, I mean, much more ambitious defense build-up and those kind of things.
But do you start building your defense portfolio now, or do you actually wait for some more visibility?
See, that's what I'm saying. See, investing is different from nice talking about these things. Because when you're talking about big themes, it doesn't have IRR, it doesn't have any timeline. But when you talk about investing, you have to write today.
That's why I'm asking.
And
is
in
today
3 years'
the time or?
And I expect in 3 years' time to double the money. So I want something which is actually happening, not promise of happening. So we are talking about promises of happening and possibilities. But this is not investing. So that's why these are noise for me. As far as I'm concerned, these things are nice to read in the paper, but there is no explanation.
You're not going to put your money there.
Yeah.
Okay. Any last thoughts? So, Raamdeo, before you leave us, anything interesting that you've recently read?
Actually, I started a book today only. I've just read 2 pages. It looks to be a very good book. Common Stocks, Common Sense, something like that.
Okay.
So just got, I'm like, just 3-4 pages. It sounds very good.
Common Stocks, Common Sense.
Common Sense, Common Stocks.
It's a 2016 book. Looks to be very promising.
Okay.
Yeah, so next time when we meet, we can probably discuss that book.
We will, Raamdeo, and maybe we should meet soon enough in about a month's time to try and discuss the book specifically and what your
Maybe your
takeaways are.
latest
If it is-
visits. Last time we chatted with you while the Brexit chaos was
Yes,
happening, you
that's-
were in Moscow.
Yeah, but you can play that. I mean, it was wonderful. I was just woken up there, and somebody, and I couldn't recognize the number, and I picked up the phone, and Nikun said, let's
Come
talk.
on air.
Yes, so I said, let's do it. Because 1,000 points down by the damn thing, because the value doesn't go down. See, if HDFC Bank is making money, I don't think Brexit deters him from making even a 10 lakhs rupees lower. So why should I pay, why should I get, why should I pay 3%, 4%? If I'm getting 3-4% cheaper, I must, buy
Absolutely.
it. Last opportunity. See, whenever any development which breaks the value, price you leave, price is a different thing. Price is a day-to-day emotional thing. Price is a lot more emotional. Value is real.
Yes.
So when value is not broken, I mean, why should the price will catch up eventually.
Revisiting the fundamentals of investing. By the way,
Yeah.
it's by Edgar Washenheim 3, if I'm not wrong,
Yes.
Wiley. Common Stocks and Common Sense, the strategies, analysis and decisions of a particularly successful value investor. We have one, and so take that book as well.
When are we going to see a book from you, Raamdeo? It's
I
time
don't
you
think
write
it's-
one.
I don't have enough insights to put out there.
We get enough
Really?
insights by your wealth creation studies.
Yes,
so-
that's an effort to decimate whatever wisdoms we get in a year, write it out there.
Yeah, great. Raamdeo, so good having you. Thank you so much for taking the time
Thanks.
out and being with
Thanks
us
for
today.
having me. Thanks.
Of course, always good having you.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.